We celebrate everything in my company. We celebrate everything in my company because we celebrate everything in our personal lives. My wife works for my organization, and so as a result, we carry that celebration over into our personal lives and into our professional lives. And I'll give you an example. I called some buddies of mine one day, and I said, hey, come over on Sunday. We are going to watch the Dallas Cowboys play football. Now, I don't remember exactly which year it was, but I'm pretty certain that it had to have been during the regular season. I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm also realistic enough to know we didn't make it to the playoffs all that often. So I called my buddies and I said, hey, come over on Sunday. We are going to watch the Dallas Cowboys play football. Well, that week I went to the grocery store and I bought all the stuff that I was going to cook for my friends. And got it all in the basket. And I go down the beer aisle. And in Texas, obviously, we just sell beer and wine in the grocery store. We don't sell hard liquor like other states. So I'm going down the beer aisle. And I've gotten some beer. I put it in the cart. Now, I'm passing by all of the wine in that, or on the other side of the aisle. I'm passing by all this wine. And I got down to the end of the wine aisle. And if there's any indication that we don't celebrate enough, it's the fact that the international symbol of celebration, champagne, is in a section about this wide. I mean, I'm talking a wine aisle as long as that wall over there, and the champagne section is this big. Just reminded me that we don't celebrate enough, or otherwise that whole thing would be full of champagne. Now, it caught my eye because there at the end of the aisle, there were cases of champagne that were stacked up with a big sale sign on the front. It was that real cheap champagne. It's like $5 a bottle. What it's called? Andre. Thank you very much. It's good, isn't it? Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. That's awesome. So it's that cheap stuff. It's like, and it was on sale for like $4 a bottle. So I said, oh, I have to get that. So I reached over and I grabbed all the bottles I could in my arms and I put it in that little baby riding deal, that thing in the cart there. And I don't know, there was like 7 or 8 bottles of this $5 bottle of champagne on sale for $4. So I get all that in there and I take it home. Now, at our house, we have 2 refrigerators. We have one in the kitchen, and then we have one in our laundry room. And my wife always says, anytime you bring home water or sodas or beer or champagne or anything like that, put that in that refrigerator down in the laundry room. Apparently, she likes to use the one in the kitchen for food. I'm a very happily married man, partly because I do what I'm asked. So I take that and I put that down in that refrigerator in the laundry room. Now, the next day, Sunday, we get out of church. I'm standing there in the kitchen. I'm chopping up all this food that I'm getting ready to cook for my friends. And one of my friends comes walking in the front door. And he says, hey, he said, I'm gonna grab a beer. I said, well, good. Get me one while you're down there. So I hear him go down to the laundry room. And I can hear when he opens the refrigerator door, I can hear all the bottles clanging together. Well, he walks back into the kitchen and he says, man, he said, that refrigerator down there is full of champagne. I said, oh, that's right. I said, I forgot to tell you. We're going to be celebrating this week. He said, you are? He said, what are you celebrating? I said, I don't know. I said, it hasn't happened yet. He said, it hasn't happened yet. I said, no. He said, Clint, let me explain to you how normal people do this. Normal people wait until something good happens, and then they go get champagne to celebrate. I said, exactly. It's too late. I said, you think about it. How many times has something good happened in your life and you thought to yourself, oh, this is so exciting. Let's celebrate. Let's open a bottle of, oh, shoot, we don't have any. Oh, well, never mind. I guess we'll just go without it. I said, I live a life that assumes that there's going to be something worthy of celebration, and I'm going to be prepared for it when it happens. He said, well, Clint, what if nothing big happens? I said, it doesn't have to be big. That's part of your challenge, is that you're looking for some giant thing to celebrate. You're looking for a big promotion. You're looking for a big raise. You're looking for a big announcement. I said, I'm talking about celebrating those life experiences that are small, those things that help give us enough energy to get to the next day, enough energy to get us to the next big success. And I said, it's not a matter of just celebrating the big stuff. He said, well, Clint, I don't live my life thinking like that. I said, I think you ought to. You ought to think about celebrating those smaller things. He said, well, I don't even know that I have anything to celebrate. He said, what do you celebrate when nothing big happens? And I said, well, I'll always find something. He said, work with me. What do you celebrate when nothing works? I said, you know what? If I get to the end of the week and I can't find anything worthy of celebrating that I think based on your definition is big enough, I don't know, I'll find something. Just the fact I went an entire week without setting myself on fire. Somebody this week will set themselves on fire, and they are not going to be able to celebrate with me. I will find something. He said, you know, Clint, I just don't think like you do. I wish that I did, but I don't. I said, well, let me ask you a question. If there were one day a week, if you had one specific time that you could designate as your opportunity to celebrate, could you do that? Just one time. One time where you could push aside all the crud long enough to look at what's working well and then raise a glass and celebrate that. Could you do that? And he said, yeah, if there were one day I could. So we went back. We created an event specifically for him that is now spread across the country. It now already has its own Facebook page. We've got organizations that are sending us pictures every single week that are telling us how they're doing in their celebration. And I'm going to invite each of you to join with us in celebrating every single Friday for Champagne Friday. You see, we live our lives so focused on the things that don't work that we forget about our regular need to simply celebrate those things of value. I had a lady in a program not long ago who raised her hand and she said, well, Clint, she said, I don't drink, so I guess I don't get to do it. I said, you missed the point. In fact, let me make this perfectly clear right now, because I'm sure we have some people in this room who don't drink. Understand this. Champagne Friday has very little to do with champagne, and it has even less to do with Friday. It's about a reminder. It's about a symbol that we need to celebrate more of the things that work well in our lives.